I'd like you to take a moment just for yourself. Sit comfortably, breathe in slowly, and let your shoulders drop. What I'm about to share may sound exactly like something you've lived with for years, yet no one has ever explained it to you in a way that truly makes sense. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You drift off to sleep without much trouble. Your body settles, your mind grows quiet, and then suddenly, in the middle of the night, your eyes snap open. No warning, no obvious reason, just a clear, sharp awakening. You reach for the clock, 2:58, maybe 3:12, and it happens again the next night, and the next. But it isn't just waking up that troubles you, it's the feeling that comes with it. Your heart beats a little too fast. Your mind turns on in a way that feels out of place. It's as if your body is trying to alert you to something, even though the house is completely still. One of my patients, Linda, 67, described it perfectly. It's not that I feel scared, it's just an alertness that doesn't belong there. Like someone tapped me on the shoulder and told me to get up. When she said that, I knew many people out there were experiencing the exact same moment, but choosing to keep it to themselves, or simply accepting it as another sign of getting older. But that's not what's happening. I want you to imagine this. For millions of years, our bodies were designed to protect us from danger. In the middle of the night, if blood sugar dropped too low, the brain saw that as a threat, and it reacted the only way it knew how, by signaling the adrenal glands. Cortisol and adrenaline surged. These hormones once helped our ancestors run from predators. But in your quiet bedroom today, they only jolt you awake, heart pounding, mind switched on. Your body isn't broken. It's following an ancient survival program that simply doesn't fit the life you're living now. I've seen this pattern in hundreds of patients. They come in tired, frustrated, and convinced that something inside them has failed. But I always tell them, no, your body is sending a signal. It wants you to adjust something so it doesn't have to wake you an alarm. I'll never forget a man named Raymond. He said to me, "It feels like someone installed an invisible alarm clock inside me, and it's set to ring at 3 a.m. Those words stayed with me. Because it's true, many people feel as if their internal clock has turned against them. But in reality, cortisol is rising at the wrong time because something underneath needs stability. Blood sugar, liver function, or daily rhythms. When I explained this to Raymond, that the problem wasn't with sleep itself, but with how his metabolism was managing the night, he went quiet for a moment. Then he said, "You mean I'm not falling apart? I've just been misunderstanding what my body is telling me." Exactly. As we get older, the body speaks louder. We simply have to learn how to listen. And I want you to hear this clearly. The solution is not forcing yourself to stay in bed, hoping sleep will return. It is not turning on the TV to distract yourself. It is not relying on another sleeping pill to numb the pattern. Real change comes when you help your body feel safe again at night. When blood sugar stays stable, when the liver has enough stored energy, when your circadian rhythm aligns with morning light, your body starts doing what it was always meant to do. Sleep deeply, naturally, without interruption. Many people ask me, is there anything I can actually do? Or is this just part of aging? I always smile and answer, you can absolutely change this. Once you understand what's happening, sleep becomes possible again. And sometimes the change begins with something incredibly simple. A teaspoon of honey, a pinch of sea salt, a few minutes of morning sunlight, or a small shift in how you end your day. When you give your body the right signals, it responds, gently, quietly, but unmistakably. I want you to hold on to this as we continue. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not a sign of decline. It's an invitation to understand your body more deeply. And when you make the right adjustments, sleep often returns like a soft summer breeze. No effort, no struggle. Now, let's go deeper into how this works, together. As we continue, I want you to picture what's happening inside your body at night, not in a technical, medical way, but the way you'd understand a close friend describing what they're going through. Most people think sleep is a still, quiet state, almost like the body shuts itself down. But the truth is, your nighttime hours are some of the busiest hours your body ever works. Your liver is sorting and clearing waste. Your brain is organizing memories. Your immune system is repairing cells. All of this requires steady, gentle energy. Not too much, not too little. That's why blood sugar plays such a critical role in sleep. I remember one of my older patients, Fred, 72. He sat across from me with a puzzled look and said, "I don't understand. I don't eat terribly. I don't drink late. So why am I still waking up?" And I asked him one simple question. If your body runs out of fuel at night, what do you think it will do? He paused, then nodded slowly. I guess it tries to find more. Exactly. But you're asleep. You can't get up to eat. So your brain chooses the fastest solution it has, using cortisol to pull sugar out of storage. In the daytime, that's fine. At 3 a.m., it wakes you up instantly. As we age, the liver becomes less efficient at storing glycogen, that fuel reserve the body relies on during the night. It's a normal part of aging, but it means nighttime blood sugar dips are more likely and cortisol spikes become more frequent. That's the real reason so many older adults find themselves awake at the same time every night. And here's the encouraging part. Once you understand this, the problem becomes solvable. This brings me back to something wonderfully simple, yet deeply effective. Raw honey and a pinch of unrefined sea salt before bed. I know it sounds almost too basic, but sometimes the body doesn't need a complicated solution. It needs the right signal. Raw honey isn't processed sugar. It's a natural blend of glucose and fructose that the liver uses to replenish its glycogen reserves. Think of it as adding just enough fuel to keep the body steady through the night. A small, gentle flame instead of a sudden burst. Sea salt, especially unrefined salt with its natural minerals intact, helps the nervous system settle. As we get older, our mineral levels often decline without us noticing. A tiny pinch of real sea salt can give the adrenal glands and the nervous system the stability they need to stay calm. One of my patients, Jim, 70, living in a small town in Texas, struggled with sleep for years. He told me, "I can't remember the last time I slept more than 4 hours." We added the honey and salt routine. The next week he came back and said, "Something's different. I still wake up, but I'm not startled. My heart isn't racing, and I'm falling back asleep faster." 3 weeks later, he returned again. "I slept 6 hours straight. I didn't think that was possible anymore." Stories like his remind me that the body responds when we give it the support it needs, sometimes quietly, sometimes gradually, but always faithfully. But I also want you to know this. Honey and salt aren't magic. They're a beginning. Your nighttime comfort depends heavily on what you do throughout the day. Sleep doesn't begin when your head hits the pillow. It begins hours earlier, in the choices you make while the sun is still up. One of the most important changes you can make is to finish dinner earlier. If you can stop eating 3 or 4 hours before bedtime, your liver gets a chance to complete digestion long before you lie down. When the liver isn't overworked at night, blood sugar stays more stable, and stable blood sugar means a calmer night. Another part of restoring your sleep is morning light. Even a cloudy sky provides enough natural light to set your internal clock. 10 or 20 minutes outside in the morning tells your brain, this is daytime, which allows melatonin to rise at night, exactly when you need it. And then there's gratitude, a word people often think of as sentimental or soft. But gratitude has measurable effects on stress hormones. A few minutes spent reflecting on 3 things that went well during your day can shift your nervous system into a calmer state. It's not the act of writing them down. It's the gentle shift in perception that helps your body let go. Many people underestimate these small acts, but I've seen them reshape sleep patterns in ways medications never could. I want you to imagine this. If over the next week you eat dinner a bit earlier, spend a few minutes in the morning sunlight, End your day with a moment of gratitude, and take that teaspoon of honey with a pinch of sea salt before bed. Do you think your nights would stay the same? No, they won't, because you'll be realigning your body with rhythms it still remembers, even after all these years. I share this not as someone reading from a textbook, but as someone who has walked dozens of patients through this process. People your age, with your struggles, asking the same questions you are asking now. And I can tell you with absolute honesty, when sleep begins to return, it changes everything. In the next part of this video, I'm going to walk you through a simple nighttime routine, a gentle 5-step practice that has helped countless older adults rediscover deep, uninterrupted sleep. These aren't rules, they're invitations, practical steps that help the body release tension and drift into rest naturally. Whenever you're ready, we'll take that next step together. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to pause for a moment. Not to memorize every detail we've talked about, but to simply feel what your body has been trying to tell you. People often believe that health is something managed in clinics, through prescriptions or complicated treatments. But you and I both know that true health often begins in quieter places, small choices, gentle awareness, and the willingness to listen. After decades of working with patients, I've learned something important. What troubles people most isn't illness itself. It's the feeling of losing control over their own bodies. Waking up at 3 a.m. may sound like a small thing, but when it happens night after night, it steals a sense of peace. It leaves you wondering, what's happening to Moan? Some people grow afraid of the night, afraid of the moment their eyes open before dawn, afraid of the silence that follows. But here's the truth I want you to carry with you. Your body isn't betraying you. It's protecting you in the only language it knows. And when you dim the lights in the evening, when you give your mind a moment of gratitude, when you step into the morning sun, when you stop eating early enough to let your body rest, or even when you take something as simple as a teaspoon of honey and a pinch of sea salt, you're sending your body a message back. You're safe, you can rest now. Let me share one last story before we close. A woman named Helen, 74, came to see me exhausted. She said, "I can't remember the last time I went to bed without dread. I don't even hope to sleep anymore." We made a few gentle changes, nothing dramatic, and a few weeks later, she returned with tears in her eyes. "Doctor," she said, "I slept through the night. I never thought I'd say that again." In that moment, I realized something. She wasn't just celebrating a night of sleep. She was celebrating a part of her life she thought was gone forever. You might be watching this on a quiet evening or maybe during a tired afternoon. Wherever you are, I want you to know that it is never too late to begin again. It is never too late to tell your body that you are ready to care for it in a different way, with patience, with kindness, with understanding. Sleep isn't a luxury reserved for the lucky. It is your birthright. And when your body finds its rhythm again, you won't just sleep better. You'll wake differently, lighter, steadier, calmer. Sometimes healing arrives quietly, in a room with softer lights, in a morning touched by sun, in a heart softened by gratitude, in a teaspoon of honey before bed. These small choices add up. They always do. Healing doesn't shout, it whispers. And if there is one thing I want you to remember from this entire video, it's this. You are not alone. Millions of people share this experience. And every day I watch people your age regain their sleep, not through luck, but through small, steady steps toward understanding their own bodies. If you're just beginning this journey, take heart. Those first steps will lead you somewhere better. And if you've already begun to feel small improvements, I'm truly happy for you. A rested body is the foundation for a longer, calmer, more meaningful life. Thank you for staying with me through this conversation. Thank you for listening, for caring about your health, and for trusting this time together. If something in today's video helped you even a little, feel free to share your experience. You never know whose life your story might touch. I wish you a peaceful night, a full night's rest, and a brighter morning ahead. I'll see you in the next video.